That movie reminds me of real life. That's real to real. If you enjoy the video, hit the like. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe.
Welcome to another episode of Real to Real, where I go over, or I give a spoiler-free movie or TV show review and just give a little perspective and just thoughts to keep in mind while you're watching these movies. And we basically just show how a movie or a TV show can relate to our real lives, right? And on today's episode, I want to go over a movie that I watched like 2 days ago, and I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great storytelling. The acting was good. It was really good storytelling overall. I'm not even gonna lie. And there was little things that I didn't really like about the movie, but it wasn't that serious. And more so, I'm talking like the time period. Well, the time period makes sense. It's medieval times, so obviously certain people are not going to show up in the movie because back in medieval times, these people were there, but they were not prominent people in this type of story. So whatever. With that being said, let's watch the trailer, and then I want to go into what I really liked about the movie.
There is only one question that matters. Do you swear on your life that what you say is true?
My father told me my life would be blessed with good fortune. I'm married. I was a good wife. And then was judged and shamed by my country.
I say before all of you, I spoke the truth.
A most unspeakable charge has been brought against you.
Jacques Legree entered our home. He attacked me.
The accusation is false.
I am telling the truth.
The truth does not matter. There is only the power of men.
This should be settled quietly.
I'm innocent!
I request a duel to the death.
If you lose, your wife will suffer dire consequences.
One of us has lied. Let us let God decide.
You do not believe me.
I am risking my life for you.
You are risking my life so you can save your bride.
Penalty for bearing false witness is that you are to be burned alive.
I will not be silent.
So yeah, that's the trailer. Now, I really like this movie. So a couple of things that I want to touch on with this movie. As I said, it was really good acting. It was about 2 hours and a half, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. I know it was kind of long though. But it's really good. And mainly that's because the way that the movie is played out, the way that they tell the story is in 3 points of view. You have the point of view of the husband, the point of view of the accuser, the guy who she says raped her, and the point of view of her, right? So she tells her side of the story. And I really like that. That was really, really nice when it came to the 3 points of view, because that's ultimately the way that life is works, right? Is my point of view or my belief, your point of view, your belief, and then the truth. Regardless of any of our two beliefs, it doesn't make a difference. There is a universal truth. There's a truth that all of us must adhere to in existence, right? One of the things about the movie that I thought were really interesting was just the blind faith and stupidity of people back then, right? And even that type of blind faith and stupidity still exists and persists today in our society. There are people who will say, well, that thing is wrong because it's just wrong because God said it's wrong. They can't explain to you why they believe what they believe. They can't explain to you why they think that whatever they think is the right way of thinking. They can't explain anything. They just have blind faith, blind ignorance, in which case that is preposterously dumb. Maybe I'm using the word wrong, but it's just extraordinarily stupid to me that you would keep your frame of thinking just because you used to think this way, right? Another great part of the movie or aspect of the movie is a strong woman. I love the way in the movie it shows the power of a strong woman. How a woman who decides that, you know what, something happened and it doesn't matter whether people believe me or not, I am going to continue to stand up for the truth, for the strength. And more so, this just pertains to just life in general. It goes back to what I was saying before. So you might believe something, I might believe something, and then there's the truth. But if what I believe is the truth, then I have to be willing to stand up for that. I have to be willing to not ignorantly battle other people, but to battle them tactically and educationally, and to show them why what I'm saying is the truth, so that they can then believe it. So the way that the movie works is the woman is accusing this man of something. He's saying he didn't do it. And so the husband says, all right, well, fine. If he says he didn't do it, then we should duel to the death. And back in those days, if you were accused of a crime and you then said that you didn't do the crime, the person who accused you could battle you to the death. If it was a woman who accused you, because women didn't really have any worth other than the fact that they were just women, like the fact that she's a woman, in which case the fact that she has a vagina and she can bear children, that was her worth, that was her value. So if a woman accused you of something, she couldn't fight you to the death, but a male on her behalf could. So her brother, her husband, her father could fight you on her behalf. And if the person who represents the accuser, so her husband, right, who's representing her, kills this man who is being accused of the crime, to them that meant that he was guilty of the crime. He was only guilty of the crime because he died. So God would only allow those who were guilty to end up dying in a duel to the death. That was their belief. That was the blind stupidity of their faith, right? Because if he's a better fighter, obviously he would win, right? You know what I mean? He's going to win because he's a better fighter. But then again, let's say he's just smarter. Maybe he's not a better fighter, but he just is a smarter thinker. Then he could potentially win, even though he is guilty of the crime. So I just thought that was something to keep in mind. Again, it was kind of funny as well, because it's like, yo, that's just blind faith, blind stupidity. It's so powerful to think about how we've come so far as a species, as a society, as the world in general, right? The movie, it touches on like how a man's honor is all that he has. And that still persists to this day in our current society that we live in. Your honor is ultimately all you have. And what is your honor? It's your word. Your word is your bond. If you say you're going to do something, you should do it. If you say you're this type of person, then be the person that you're saying that you are. But your honor is all that you have in this world, because that's what will follow you. So I always used to wonder about like how whenever a lot of these people get accused of rape and molestation and sexual assault against women, why is nobody let me not say nobody, but why don't more people stand up and say, hey, that's not him. He's not that type of person, right? Because he has honor. I know this guy. This guy's a good guy. He wouldn't do those type of things. And maybe it is the fear that they could be wrong and they don't know the person as good as they thought. But it's only so far someone can pretend. There's only so much pretending that can happen, right? You can't pretend to be somebody that you're not 24 hours a day. So I always thought about that. And I've lived my entire life with the concept that there are certain things that people just cannot say about me, because other people will say, that doesn't sound like Joseph. That's not Joseph. He's not that type of person. So they're not going to believe you when you say these things, because again, I've conducted myself. I treat people a certain way. I speak to people a certain way. I have honor in who it and what it means to be me. And I like to think that other men think the same way. Another thing that the movie touches on is what men are willing to do for money. So a lot of this guy's issues come up because he is broke. He ain't got no money. So he is going out of his way to make money, in which case that puts him and his woman in positions where certain negative things happen that cause the story to be propelled further into what it becomes, right? And with this movie, like, one of the things while watching it that I thought about was the story in the Bible of King David. And actually, there's a few stories about King David, but one of the stories of King David in the Bible is King David. He's the king, so he's at war, and he sends this soldier. Well, he looks outside at first, and he sees this woman. And when he sees the woman, he's like, "Yo, this chick is hot." You know what I'm saying? He likes the way the chick works. He likes the woman, and what he ends up doing is he ends up sending this guy, the woman's husband, to war on the front line, in the front battlefield, thinking in his mind, yo, this guy is going to end up dying out there, and I'm going to take his woman, because now his woman is a widow. She got no man, so I can marry her. I can take her on as my wife. And this movie kind of gave me that kind of vibe, right? It was like, dang, bro, this guy sees this woman of his friend and covets it. Or better yet, not just the woman, but the guy sees the life that his friend is living, and he just wants that guy's life so bad that he does, to me, he does things to take the guy's life, to take what the guy has, what's rightfully belonged to him, to his friend. And I just thought, like, yo, if that ain't the story of King David right there, a man who sees what another man has, and as opposed to, striving to get what that man has and asking that man, well, how did you get there? And, just trying to get that through hard work, he decides, nah, I'm going to just take what that guy has, as opposed to trying to get my own. In which case, that tends to happen in a lot of relationships. I'm not saying that it's all the time, but a lot of the times, especially when it comes to women, they will see a good man, and instead of them saying, I want a man like that, they just say, well, I want that man. So I know that man pays bills. That man doesn't cheat on his wife. That man takes care of his kids. So they're not looking for a man like that man. They just turn around and say, yo, I'm going to take that man, right? And then they get upset, obviously, because now they're like, well, why are you cheating on me? Well, duh, he had a wife when you met him, and you took him from his wife. Why would he not then cheat on you? Obviously, you converted this man from a good man to a non-good man. I mean, but with that being said, watch the movie. I think it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really nice movie, and I don't really have a rating scale. I really should. I always say I'm going to make a rating scale for these things, but the dialogue was great. Good writing. Ben Affleck's in it. I don't really like Ben Affleck too much, but some movies he's a great actor. He's really good in this one. There's a couple good actors in it. Matt Damon. I like Matt Damon. He's a good actor too. And watch the movie, man. I thought it was really good. It's on HBO Max. Thanks for watching another episode of Real to Real. Let's all remember, man, we all out here trying to do the same thing. Survive and be happy. Y'all stay blessed.